This News Update is brought to you by...
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras' theorem works, understand?
Even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Tuesday, February 3rd, 2015. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening. Another police officer is allegedly under investigation, this time for missing money. Barbados Today understands that investigations are underway into the disappearance of $5,500, which has gone missing from the District D police station. The sum was reportedly part of approximately $100,000, which was being kept at the station as an exhibit in a money laundering case. It is alleged that the probe has already led to the resignation of a station sergeant who at one time was in charge of the rural station and responsible for the proper maintenance of all exhibits. Barbados Today has also been reliably informed that there is the likelihood that investigators could recommend criminal charges if such supportive evidence is forthcoming. When contacted, Police Public Relations Officer, Acting Assistant Superintendent David Welch, said he had no information on the matter. Last week, Special Constable Jimmy Thorne was remanded to prison for 1 week on drug charges, along with 2 other men. Meantime, lawmen are investigating a robbery at Atlantic Feeds in the Belle Estate, St. Michael. According to police, a man armed with a cutlass entered the establishment and robbed a cashier of an undisclosed sum of money. The incident occurred around 12:40 this afternoon. Anyone with information which can help police with their investigations is asked to call emergency number 211 or the nearest police station. Meanwhile, 2 St. John men were today slapped with fines for illegally harvesting sea eggs last Saturday. 54-year-old Erskine Adolphus Pollard was ordered to pay $1,500 and 43-year-old David Orlando Bennett $2,000 within 3 months. If the two are unable to pay, they will face 3 months behind bars. The men were charged for the illegal possession of 368 sea eggs and fishing the local delicacy outside the harvesting season. In other news, CLICO policyholders are still awaiting word on when 2 cases filed before the High Court will be heard. President of the Barbados Investors and Policyholders Alliance, Joan Fowler, tells Barbados Today no date has yet been set. 13 directors of CLICO and British American Insurance, including former CLICO Executive Chairman Leroy Paris and President Terence Thornhill, are facing $128 million in negligence lawsuits. The court action is seeking to recover $76 million from the CLICO players and $52 million from those accused of negligence in the British American Insurance matter. In its second action, BIPA also wants to be a joint participant in the judicial process related to CLICO. But Fowler has declined to comment on Leroy Paris's public apology over the company's collapse, even as he maintained his innocence. She said she could not comment as Paris is a defendant in one of the pending court cases. Chikugunya cases in Barbados are on the decline, and that's according to the Ministry of Health, which also revealed that the country recorded 2 deaths which were indirectly linked to the mosquito-borne disease. Last year, the country recorded 121 confirmed cases of the disease from 1,742 suspected cases. Meantime, there is a fresh warning to Barbadians about the worrying spread of diabetes. Medical doctor Carlisle Goddard, who is also a lecturer in medicine at the University of the West Indies, says if the non-communicable disease is not brought under control, more than half of the population will be battling its effects, that is, in another 20 years. And he is particularly concerned about the country's men.
When we look at Barbados specifically, obesity is seriously increasing. Again, in the 1970s, women were predominantly overweight, men minimal. 10 years later, the numbers speak for themselves. So in Barbados, our men are becoming exceptionally fat for whatever known reasons. And it's time that we take note of this and make a change. The nutritional status survey back in 2000 says over 1/3 of our population, both men and women, are overweight, and a further 10 to 20% are obese. So when you add that together, 2/3 of our population are overweight.
A new mobile branch for international fast food, Burger King, will be opening in Sheraton Mall and not in Warrens as previously indicated. Word of this from Ryan Walters, General Manager of Restaurants Associates Barbados Limited, the operators of the North American-based restaurant. He tells Barbados Today that the plans were revised and the branch will now be located in Christchurch in another 3 months. Walters says plans are also in the pipeline to open restaurants in the north of the island, which could see at least 8 Burger King restaurants operating on the island.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, says Prime Minister Kamala Persaud's predecessor's cabinet reshuffle will not address the issues facing her government. In fact, he says the only way to correct the situation was to call a general election. Last night, the Prime Minister was forced to reshuffle her cabinet after her former Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan, and the National Security Minister, Gary Griffith, became the subject of a Police Complaints Authority scandal. Over in Guyana, government is searching for a new head of the Guyana Elections Commission, but it's keeping its potential candidates close to its chest. More in this Capital News report.
The ruling PPP has dismissed suggestions that its replacement at the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, could be either former Chief Elections Officer Gokul Budu or outspoken former Minister, now UG Pro-Chancellor Bibi Shadiq.
We have not entertained any discussions on those two names.
With Budu and Shadiq out of the picture, the PPP General Secretary Clement Rohi was today not ready to say who is being considered.
We are discussing names.
Rohi said that the PPP was interested in having Dr. Keshav Bud Mangal replaced as soon as possible.
And finally, on the international scene, the Jordanian pilot who was being held hostage by the Islamic State has been killed. A video published online by the militants reportedly shows the pilot being burned alive. The video, which has not been verified, shows a man standing in a cage and engulfed in flames. Jordanian State TV confirmed the death and said he was killed a month ago. More in this BBC report.
Murdered by his captors in the most horrific way imaginable. Jordan's captured pilot, Lieutenant Muaz Al-Qasasbeh, has been burned alive by the jihadists of Islamic State, imprisoned in a cage. Tonight, Jordan is coming to terms with the news.
This is something that you have to face. We have faced terror organizations since the 70s, but this has been the worst we've ever seen. I think it's been the worst the world have seen.
For weeks, the pilot's family and supporters have been pushing their government to negotiate his release, unaware that he was probably already dead. Jordan offered to give up a convicted al-Qaeda bomber in exchange, but it seems Islamic State always had other plans.
And on that note, we come to the end of our evening update, but you can join us again tomorrow morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.pb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 Online TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. See you tomorrow.
This news update is brought to you by...
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras' theorem works, understand?
even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.